Hey, and welcome back. This is another meal prep video. If you watched my meal plan, you know that I planned from my pantry and fridge and freezer. My breakfast, I got hash cakes in the freezer. The little packets I make up, I just set them out and let them thaw before I make them. And the rest of the week was going to be like eggs and hot cereal. And sloppy joes for lunch. And I bought some Lebanon bologna. But I got over here thinking I didn't really plan snacks or desserts. I don't even remember who it was. If it was you, I apologize. I didn't look before I started filming. I was talking about, maybe on my way in, how when I wake up at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning that I'm starving. And then that's when I start scrounging. And she suggested, which was a big duh to me, plan some snacks for that time of the morning. Plan you something tasty. And I was just like, doing. The light went off. I'm like, why not? I planned the rest of the day, not times, because I don't have particular times. So why not plan something for the middle of the night? So I got over here, started brainstorming again. Didn't have to go to the store and buy nothing. I come up with some meal prep, and I thought, well, we'll go along for the ride again. Last week I made the cranberry apple baked oatmeal. I thought I'd use the same recipe but change it up this week. I had some peaches in the freezer and some pecans. I thought peach pecan sounds really good. David liked that one last week too, so he can help me eat it. Let me show you this first. This little piece of paper. Why I've never thought to do this before is beyond me, because that's one thing about tracking. If I have to consult my phone and just take that extra step, I'm lazy and I don't want to be bothered. So the things that I'm prepping, I wrote them down, and this is for blue. Obviously the recipes and whatnot, you will get the points for all 3 plans, but I do blue, so that's all I needed to write down. I'm going to stick this on my fridge. So I know for the peach pecan baked oatmeal that 1/4 of it is 5 points. Now, that one's in my tracker because I had to build the recipe. Let's go to the next one. I'm going to make some potato salad. I love tater salad sandwiches. I like to have it on the side. I like to just have it as a snack. That is something I can see myself going to when I wake up early in the morning because it's very flavorful. Without thinking, without looking at the tracker, scrolling through, I know that 1/3 cup is 4 points. So I can gauge as I'm eating through the day where the points are going. Then I know this is 1/3 cup. Then I'm going to make sloppy joes. I already had that planned, so I have everything for that. 1/3 cup, and I'm using, my recipe has 96% on the website. I'm using 93 because that's what I got on sale. So 1/3 cup, which is plenty for one, is 2 points, and 2 of them is 4 points. And I'm just going to eat them on plain old loaf bread. I grew up doing it, and the buns that I have left are allocated to our fish sandwiches for tomorrow. Then I'm going to do pumpkin spice puree. Haven't made this in a while. It's something I got off of Connect 2 years ago. Do not ask me who came up with it. But you spread it on, English muffins or toast. I like it on toast. And you can add like pumpkin seeds. Those are really good. If you want to add sunflower seeds or nuts, just count your points. Little drizzle of syrup. It's delicious. It's delicious with your breakfast with some eggs or as a snack. So there's another go-to. Because my syrup is 1 point for 1/4 cup, the whole recipe is 1 point. But if you use 0 point syrup, 0 points for the whole recipe. Then my Lebanon bologna, I wrote it down. 2 slices is 2 points, so I know what to put on my sandwich. And my hash cake that I have in the freezer, one of them is 2 points. And that is for the hash browns. and my eggs are about to boil. So those are the things that we're going to be making. Now, I am going to attempt some Almond Joy donuts. I wanted to make my chocolate coconut glazed donuts. I made them when I was on Simply Feeling, and that tells, not when I tried it again, when it was still part of the Weight Watchers program. Back when I first started, that's how I cut my teeth, was on Simply Feeling. 2.5 years ago, wasn't 2 years ago, it was 2.5 years ago, practically. And I got to looking at it, and it didn't sound chocolatey. I couldn't figure what in the world. I missed one important word when I put it on my website and in my own recipe app on my phone. The Kodiak Cakes pancake and waffle mix is supposed to be the chocolate. Well, I don't have that. I just have a big old box of the plain. So I sit down over here at my bar and I just started reworking it. So we're going to do it with the plain, some cocoa powder. I'm going to do the glaze different. I'm going to do it all different, and we're going to come up with some Almond Joy donuts. So that may be a standalone video because that'll take a little bit longer. Some of these things I've already done and they're really simple, so we're just going to snap through them. And so that's what we're having for the week. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to get started, kind of go along with the flow that I'm going to do everything in. And yeah, there goes my eggs. I gotta set my timer, so we'll turn around and get started. The first thing I want to do is get my potatoes going for the potato salad. So these could be cooking while we're making the oatmeal. Now I've already put a cup or so of water. I just have it to where it comes up close to the trivet. Washed potatoes. Now we only need 19 ounces of cooked potato. So I'm hoping I have estimated enough when the peeling comes off. Now this is what I wanted to show you, this little tip. This little sponge, I've showed it before, but it's been a long time. And this was dirty, so I thought, good enough time. These little sponge paints, wet it, put it in that crack, and just wipe it out. All the way around. And all the little things that spills, you can come down there. Get it on there. And there you have it. Nice, clean Instant Pot. So I'm going to set these on. Turn my vent. I always forget to. And these are just going to go on 15 minutes. While I was doing the intro, my eggs started boiling because I wanted to go ahead and get them started. These goes into potato salad too. Put them in cold water. Just cover them. Turn the burner on. Heat it to a good rolling boil. Boil it for 10 minutes. Flash them in cold water. Done. So that's that. Now, this over here is all the goodies for our baked oatmeal. So let me stick this camera on the tripod and we'll get started on that. We made this last week. I went through, showed you how to make it. I'm not going to do that again. I will try to put the link for the meal prep up in the cards. I'm just going to tell you, we have the wet ingredients together, we have the dry ingredients together, and this is for pecan baked oatmeal. My fingers are crossed that it's going to be good. So for the wet, I have my little cheat sheet, 1.5 cups of unsweetened applesauce, a cup of milk, and I use the unsweetened cashew milk. You can use skim, just count your points, or almond, 2 eggs, and 2 tablespoons of sugar-free syrup, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now in our dry ingredients, we have 2 cups of old-fashioned oatmeal, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar substitute, and I use the Lakanto, and that is all for the dry. This has already been whisked up. I'm going to get something else. Hold on. Then we just need to add the dry. Mix it up real good. Last week I said the one thing I would change was to add more cinnamon, so I did this week. I added 2 teaspoons. But we're going to add a little bit more stuff on the top. Now, since I used 2 cups of fruit last week between the apple and the cranberries, I'm going to use 2 cups of chopped peaches. These were just frozen, and if you just let them sit out a minute, they chop really good frozen. They're really easy to chop. I had a hair more, maybe a quarter, 1/3 cup more than 2 cups, not enough to save or anything. So my fingers are crossed this is not too much fruit, that it's not too moist and it bakes up the way it should. So I want to just mix in that. Now the next thing is our pecans, and for that I'm going to use my mortar and pestle that Ann Ferris sent me. She saw me on a video using my green Tupperware bowl and jelly jar, and I was making a joke about, don't you like my mortar and pestle? Bless her heart, she sent me one. Pecans, you can dump 11 grams in there. That's how much we're using, 11 grams. I could use more, but I want to keep it at 5 points. And for all the plans, what their points are, a little bit more pecans is not worth another point to me to go up. So I'm just going to take what I can get. So I want to first put this on there, tear it out. And you can just dump 11 grams in there if you want to. But if you grind them or chop them up, they go so much further. And you think you have more. There we go. 11 grams on the dot. So all we got to do is just crush them. Ooh! And this is so much better than my bowl and jelly jar. I like this. Yes, I do. This is not the only recipe we're using it for today. Okay, that's as good as I want to do it. So, see how it gives you just a little bit more. You want to stir that in. I already have my oven preheated to 375. I have a 9-inch square dish sprayed. All we got to do is dump this in, bake it for 45 minutes. Now, because I have a lot of peaches and these are going to let off more liquid than the apples and the cranberries, it may take a little longer, so I will keep a check on it, and of course I will let you know. Now, let me pop that in the oven, and I'm not sure what's next, but I'll be back. Now we're going to do sloppy joes. I'm going to kind of do you half and half. I've cooked these before. I'll try to put the card above. I want to show you this hamburger is, I use this is what I had it frozen in. I don't even know how much this is. What I do is, when I cook up hamburger to have in the refrigerator for this, I cook it with onions, plenty of onions. You can see them in there. They cook down. And then I divide it into those little square things. And I have had those little square things for, oh my gosh, ever. And as they go, get used and wear out, I'll go to the Dollar Tree and buy more because that's where they come from. I can normally get 3 pounds of hamburger out of 2. I can't get it all the way out of 1, but I can normally eke out and get a whole extra pound out of 2 pounds just by adding the onions and putting it in a smaller container. And I can promise you, without even blinking an eye, we have never told the difference. That is not a full pound of chopped hamburger. So if you're using fresh hamburger, you want a pound. You want a good bit of onion and garlic. Now, I don't put garlic. I do my house seasoning, but I don't put garlic in it just because I'm not sure if I want garlic in whatever the final product's going to be. So just a couple cloves of garlic, and you don't really need to measure that. It's 0 points. 1 can of petite diced tomatoes. 1 can of tomato sauce. Half a cup of ketchup, which would be half of this can. Oh, please don't splatter. Oh, I forgot to get my scraper. Hold on. I'm going to come around the camera. So half a cup of ketchup. Listen, these sloppy joes could not be easier. A tablespoon of yellow mustard, and since it's 0 points, I'm just going to give it a little squeeze. A teaspoon of chili powder. A tablespoon of brown sugar. You could use substitute, but I don't know if that it even changes the points, to be honest with you. And then with the ketchup and the brown sugar, it can be a little sweet, which I kind of like, but still give it just a splash of vinegar. And when it's through, taste it. You can add more vinegar if you need to. Now just stir this around real good. Let it simmer 10-15 minutes and sloppy joes are done. So while this starts simmering, my eggs are through and chilled off, so I need to peel them, and the taters ain't ready, so we'll just jump on to something else till they get done. Okay, boys and girls, we are trying something off the wall. I ordered 2 cans of pumpkin from Walmart, and I went to get it out of the cabinet, and it just was not there. So I guess they were out, but they didn't put that on my substitutions and out of stock list. So I had carrots, because I was like, well, I don't have any canned sweet potatoes, and they would be points. But I do have carrots, and carrots are naturally sweet. You know, sometimes. So we're going to try to make the pumpkin spice puree using carrots. My fingers are crossed. Now, it uses 1 can of pumpkin, but since carrots, it's the 14.5 ounce, it's still about the same size can as a pumpkin, but it's not pureed, so there's like air in there. I'm thinking I'm going to do 2 cans, because when it purees down, it will have more like pumpkin. And if it's too much, we can always adjust this is just plain old sliced carrots. We can always adjust the seasonings. This is just my NutriBullet. You want to put it in your NutriBullet, your Ninja, your blender, your food processor, whatever it is that's going to make it smooth. And that's using the pumpkin as well. So we need a quarter cup of syrup. Mine is 1 point. If you use 0 points, this is going to be a 0 spread for you. I'm going to put that there just in case we might want more. Teaspoon of vanilla.
All the way down from New York, huh?
Missing little girl is always going to be news.
Now, the pumpkin uses 5 packets of sweetener, and that is exactly why I bought these way back. And that's the only thing I use them for. I don't know what the substitution would be, because I don't know how concentrated this sweetener is. If anybody knows, this is the Splenda Naturals. If anybody knows what this would be like in other sweetener, where I could use teaspoons instead of the packets because I'm about out, I would love to know. Now, since these are carrots and I think they need to be a little sweeter, I'm going to add some of my brown sugar substitute. It is 0 points. I'm going to go ahead and add a tablespoon. Hope it's not too much. But carrots and brown sugar, when I cook carrots on the stove, I always put brown sugar in it. And since we're doing pumpkin spice, we're going to use pumpkin pie spice. I make this myself because a lot of times you cannot find them in the store. So I have the recipe on my website. I'll try to link that below. So we want a teaspoon of that. I'm going to leave everything out in case we need more. Now I'm going to go over here and blend it, come back and give it a taste, and see if we throw up or not. So hold on. I apologize. I didn't realize until I went over there that I had the TV on in the background. Now it looks like pureed baby food because it's just pureed. It smells like a cross between a sweet potato and a pumpkin. That's what it smells like. So, cross your fingers. You know what? Oh my gosh. I'm going to come down here. Y'all, this is so close to sweet potato. It's more sweet potato than it is pumpkin. This is good. When I cannot get pumpkin at the store, you better believe I'm going to make it with carrots. And what a way for me to get vegetables down my throat, because y'all know how I feel about those things. This was a winning little experiment. I'm excited to use it. I really am. So we'll just put this in a glass jar and store it in the fridge, and it'll last all week. So my potatoes still are not done. I'm going to transfer this to a jar, clean up my mess, write the recipe exactly like I wrote it. I don't think it needs another thing. You taste it and you add to it as you see fit. Now, I will say it blended up and started coming out, so you might want to use your blender or food processor if you have anything smaller than this. So we'll be back with the last thing we're doing right now is potato salad, because I think I am going to do the donuts standalone. I've got like 2 minutes left on my oatmeal, so we will have to cut and get that. I want to weigh my bowl because I want to get 19, let's see, ounces of potatoes. And the reason why it's that much is when I made it, I think that's either how much I had. Now I've already put these in cold water so I can touch them, and I'm just going to weigh the whole potato and then chop them up later. Ooh, this is still kind of hot. But when I made this recipe, because this is not something that I measure, I just make it. I've never measured it until I started Weight Watchers and having to pin it down, you know. So 19 ounces was either how much potatoes I had, and I went from there, or it worked that way in the... Shoo-wee, that is hot. 17. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll give this potato to David to eat. So I think that's close enough. Now I'm not going to be precise on cutting these. I'm just going to take a knife and just kind of rake through. I don't want to mash them. Oops. Alright. Hold on. If I forget to say it at the end, 45 minutes actually worked perfect. It is nice and set. Now I want to salt and pepper the taters. Potato and taters is interchangeable, FYI. Just depends on how I'm saying it. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird like that. A little bit of pepper. Then I boiled 5 eggs, but I only need 4. I always boil 1 extra in case one busts. And I had 1 extra, and I laid it on my little dish towel over there. Gonna give it to David. And I walked by to pick up the bowl, and I hit that dish towel and it hit the floor. So the hermit crab's getting a boiled egg. We want 4 tablespoons of pickle relish, sweet relish. I know a lot of people use the no sugar added. I still haven't tried it. And it may bring your points down if you use that. But I like this. Then I need, because I was not willing, oops, where'd my mayonnaise go? I was not willing to go full on Kraft just because this is tater salad. So I compromised half of my favorite Dukes and half of the Kraft Light. So I need 3 tablespoons of each. Now this tater salad is not juicy, moist, mayonnaisey like I like, but I'll take what I can get because I absolutely love tater salad. I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody can't make tater salad out at restaurants. No sir. The closest I have come to mine that I like comes from Food Line, if you can believe that. Ain't that crazy? Then we won't. I've already made this on the video. I don't even know why I'm showing you, but here we are. Doing it anyway. I can actually reach that. See how much creamier it is? A piece of pickle got in there. I'll wipe that one off since the other one's kind of big. Sorry, I will put that down. And then we just need a splash of vinegar. I'm about to forget my onions. And I do put sugar in my tater salad, but I'm forgoing it for point's sake. Now this is all the onions I had chopped, and I'm just going to put them all because I really like oniony tater salad. No, I lied. I was looking at my thing over here to make sure I didn't forget nothing, and I do use a whole teaspoon of sugar. Hold on. All right, here's my teaspoon. I'm not putting more because I ain't paying the points. And I don't put mustard in my tater salad. A lot of people do. Food Line sells one called mustard potato salad. I just don't prefer it. Never was growed up like that. You know, you make things like you growed up making, like your mom and your mama made you. And that's kind of how you carry on. Now let me give this a taste if I need any vinegar. Lordy be, that's good. Even with this, that's good. I had got choked it. I think I sucked down oh, here it goes again. Okay, y'all. Something has got hung down in my throat. I'm going to quit talking just a second. We're going to go over on the other side on the bar, put together and see everything we made. Okay, so here's what we made today. I got my little notes. I'm going to tell you the points. The peach pecan baked oatmeal. Blue is 5 points, is 1/4. Blue is 5 points. Purple 1, green 6. Let's do the potato salad. 3rd cup serving. Excuse me just a minute. I am so sorry. Whatever tickled my throat over there will not stop. So the potato salad, 1/3 cup serving. Blue is 4, purple is 2, green is 5. This, hold on again. Oh, I'm about to lose it, y'all. We're going to get through this. This is too good to be called puree. This is now dubbed 0 point carrot butter. Delicious. I'm still shocked about it. The whole jar is 1 point from the syrup. If you use 0 point syrup, it's 0 points. So, you know what? You could sit on with a straw and it's only a point. Whatever you put on toast or an English muffin, that's 0 points all day long. Then we have the sloppy joes. I'm so sorry. 1/3 cup is a serving. Like I said, that's plenty for a sloppy joe. One is 2 points and 2 is 4 points. Now what I want to do is cut into this oatmeal and see how it baked compared to the cranberry apple. I'll tell you one thing, it smells absolutely delicious. My kitchen smells like fall, which does not hurt my feelings at all. Temperature don't feel like fall, I can tell you that. I can tell you that much. I hope this is. Listen, your first piece of everything is hard to get out, ain't it? I was hoping it would be cool enough in the middle to taste. I'm going to set that there and let it cool. When it does, I'm going to taste it and come back and tell you. Okay, it's good. I'm going to tell you, I would make it again, but I would sweeten my peaches first. Not with real sugar because that's going to add points. Unless you want to add points, that's fine. With your favorite 0 point sweetener, I would definitely, after I chop them, not so much that they turn juicy, just enough to give them a good coating. And or I might add more sweetener to the oatmeal. For some reason, this is not as sweet as last week's, even though last week had tart cranberries. It's not as sweet, at least not that middle part I tasted. Maybe after it sets up and cools in the fridge, it will be. But then again, I put syrup on mine, so maybe you don't want it that sweet. But I think it's turned out really good. I would definitely make it again. So there you have it. There is meal prep for the week. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some ideas. I hope you see that meal prep can be out of the box. It doesn't have to be, you know, what sounds like it should be meal prep. It should just be food that you enjoy. So if you like it, make it. That's all I know to say. So I will see you on my next video.